video took me 20 hours to make, no kidding. I've added up all my recording times playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder and it comes out to around a little over 20 hours. So in this video, you're going to be seeing what 20 hours of Super Mario Bros. Wonder gameplay really looks like and what you get at the end. But before we get into the video, don't forget to smash the subscribe button because just like Wonder Seeds in this game, you only get 5 seconds to do so. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have you done it yet? Well, good job. Here's the cookie. But now with the intro out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff. Alright, first up, when you load into the game, you get to this menu, which looks pretty and all and looks like an amazing fun time. Like, look at Luigi in his parachute cap. He definitely doesn't look like he's being held hostage against his will
to be in another Mario game.
But right away, I press both the left and right triggers to get into the game, and they don't work. Like, seriously? The entire thing about the Switch is that you press the triggers to activate the Switch controllers or to get into menus. But this time around, they decided they wanted to switch it up a bit and be more unique by having the shoulder buttons as the main controls of this game. And just so that you all are aware, this pattern continues into the actual game. But no matter, we get in, we choose our character and get locked and loaded for a nice, peaceful stroll. Yeah, I like this game already. Just a nice peaceful walk around the Flower Kingdom with my brother, my girlfriend, and oh, wouldn't you know, Bowser, my worst nightmare. So as you watch Bowser take some hallucinogenic drugs and take up with the castle, Prince Florian, the genius that he is, decides he wants to be a superhero and save his kingdom with Mario, which is just another Tuesday for him at this point. But now we get into the actual game, where we start off being welcomed into the Flower Kingdom and get serenaded by a bunch of piranha plants. But we also figure out how we're actually gonna have to 100% this game going forward, as we must collect all 310 flower coins in each level, as well as find all the Wonder Seeds in the process. Standees and badges are also gonna have to be collected as well, standees being purchased at the Poplin shops and badges in either challenges or being purchased as well. But now that we know what we need to get to reach our goal, it's time to actually start moving. Pipe Rock Plateau is the first world we start off in, which is relatively easy overall except for Bull Rush Express, which is one of the more harder levels when it comes to collecting the 10 coins. But since you can basically collect the coins and die and still have them collected, makes it a lot easier, which is my one critique for this game. But other than that, it's not as hard of a level as some of the other ones coming up, such as the first level in the special world, which I get to by following the path from Bull Rush Express up the mountain, which is called, funnily enough, Bounce, Bounce, Bounce. And in this level, you literally just bounce, bounce, and bounce. But it's not all that simple from the name, because apart from bouncing on hippos, you're also controlling the hippos with your jumps. So you'll have to really stay on your feet if you want to get past this level safe and sound, as it did take me a few tries to get this down, as well as collect everything I needed. But after about 5 minutes or so, I finally succeeded in finishing the level, but this still doesn't compare to some of the other special levels, but we can worry about that when we get to it, because now it's time to take on Bowser Jr., which is, as usual, with every Bowser-esque fight in any Mario game, the easiest fight in the entire game. So next up, we got World 2 Fluff Pup Peaks and the Petal Isles, which introduces us to a new area and a couple new badges too, which I forgot to mention that I got the parachute cap from World 1, which is what I'll be using for a majority of the playthrough. But speaking about badges, let's talk about the first difficult badge challenge in this game, which is the second wall climb jump challenge, which was surprisingly very difficult for a badge challenge, as in the moment I didn't think anything more of the badge challenges than just simple levels to get a Wonder Seed from. But obviously I was so wrong, because although it didn't take me that long to finish, basically all the jumps were really difficult to make because you have to land on a really small surface, and if you end up overshooting it, you're sent all the way down unless you fall on another platform, which is really unlikely. But the rotating section is the hardest of them all, since you have to time the rotations with your jumps, and the last platform has you standing literally right under the tail end of the one above you, which makes it that much more difficult to even jump onto it in the first place. But with a little perseverance, I was able to finish the level, but it was way harder than I thought it was going to be, that's for sure. The rest of the world, in my opinion, isn't that big of a deal other than cruising with linking lifts, which was supposed to be easy, but I made it hard for no reason because I'm clearly just bad at the game. But now we get to the second level in the special world, which is Climb to the Beat, which is a continuation of the level prior called Jump Jump Jump. As the name implies, you have to climb to the beat of the music. But this one is harder than its barely easier counterpart, as this time the poison rises as the music goes on. So not only are you battling the beat of the music, but you also have to outrun the poison as well. And some of these jumps in these levels aren't easy at all, which makes everything so much more harder. And as someone who struggles with the wall climbing mechanic in this game, it hurt every time I tried jumping off a wall and Mario didn't attach to it. But I did manage to beat it after many attempts, as this is up there as one of the harder special levels in this entire game. But now with World 2 done and Bowser Jr. defeated once again, we head straight to World 3 Shining Falls, which was the easiest and shortest world in my opinion. Even the special world was relatively easy as well, which was really shocking as the Royal Seed didn't include a boss battle or anything, just walking into a house and being given it. But after beating the third special world level, we're able to unlock the middle level, which is the semi-final test Piranha Plant reprise, which was also sort of easy as well, as it just involved dodging projectiles here and there and listening to the Piranha song. The ending did catch catch me off guard though, which is why it took a few tries to get done. But other than that, World 3 was pretty easy overall. A little disappointed with the special world levels difficulty, but the levels were creative nonetheless. The rest of the Petal Isles were up next, as we are now free to explore the rest of the isles to our pleasure. The airship level was a pretty fun level from what I remember, as we were required to ride a cloud for a majority of the level, and wouldn't you know it, Mecha Koopas make the triumphant return to the Mario series, which I was really happy to see, as we haven't seen these guys since Mario Maker and the new Super Mario Bros. Series. So it was really good to see these guys again, but all the levels in the Petal Isles were really cool and enjoyable. Muncher Fields being my favorite, as we literally have the Bowser Castle staring at you in the background the entire time while you get across this permanent field of Munchers across this level. It was also quite challenging too, as it didn't give away any secrets as to how to get certain collectibles in this level, such as the first 10 coin you see once you enter the level. But a few levels later and we've reached the 4th special world level, which is called Way of the Goomba, and in my opinion, again, one of the harder levels in the special world, as you're a Goomba for literally the entire level. And being a Goomba, you don't have many assets, as you don't move very fast and you can't jump, which is what makes this level so difficult to play. Even jumping on bouncy objects doesn't give you that high of a boost, so it's really hard being a Goomba in this game versus other games. But if you're able to get your timing right and deal with all the hardships of being a Goomba in this game, you should be golden to get through this level. But what a hard level it is. 9 hours later and we've only reached World 4. But the fact in 9 hours of a 100% playthrough I've only made it to World 4 really shows you how much content this game really has to offer. But first off, when coming to this world, I made a priority to visit the shop and stack off on lives so I don't have to worry about getting a game over anytime soon. And also walking around the overworld map, as it said that there are hidden levels placed around the map. So in order to not miss anything, I spent about 10 to 15 minutes scourging around this place so that I missed absolutely nothing. And after that, I took a little bit of a break by playing the Ninja Jump Party, which was a really unique level and one of the more creative ones in my opinion, as it really played on the timing aspect of being able to get through the level instead of speedrunning it. Balloons of the Desert Skies saw the return of the P-Balloon in the form of a wonder from Super Mario World, which was a really fun way of bringing back an older power-up in a modern game without it feeling forced. The Parachute Cap Challenge was a pretty challenging match to say the least, mainly because of how easy it was to be hit by many of the piranha plants while attempting to collect the coins. But what's really difficult is trying to get the top of the flagpole, as it isn't a possible feat from the distance you start at, as the only way to do it is from literally right in front of the flagpole, which is kind of dumb, I can't lie. But one thing I'll say about 4 and 5, as it's coming up in a bit, is that the theme of these levels stay true to its overworld counterpart, as a lot of World 4's levels involve a mystery and different ways to finish a level, especially Color Switch Dungeon, which followed the idea of using puzzle solving skills in order to escape the dungeon, which I thought was amazing attention to detail. But overall, I think World 4 was a really cool and fun world to play, especially with the overworld Easter eggs, which I thought was a really cool addition to the game. And before I forget, the special world level for World 4 wasn't one of the hardest levels, but really stressful, as it's an auto-scroll level and you can't get caught up by the camera or you restart from the very beginning, as I almost did literally seconds away from the ending. But now with World 4 down, let's get on to World 5, which is Fungi Mines. And overall, I would say plays basically the same as World 3, but this time the overworld map opens up a lot more, as you're able to move in different areas, some not so obvious, but a really cool concept nonetheless. And just like World 3, the Royal Seed is given to you without much effort, as it's just a poplin that gives it to you. I think my favorite level from this world has to be Light Switch Mansion with the Singing King Boo, as it's a pretty difficult section as you're trying not to die to the various enemies around you and trying to enjoy King Boo's song, which was very enjoyable in my eyes. And speaking of the special world level, in my opinion, it's again really hard, as it's literally impossible not to die when collecting the coins, which just forces a restart. Like, how are you supposed to grab this coin without dying? Like, it's literally impossible. I don't understand it. But other than that, it's also really easy to take unnecessary damage during the falling sequences and even the beginning sequence if you're not careful. But overall, really cool level design. And with that, we are done and finished with World 5 and on to World 6, which is the longest world in this game, because literally every time I thought I was done, more and more sections just opened up, and at some point I was just questioning when it'd be over. So just to give you guys an overview for how long this world actually is when 100% in the game, the world takes around 2 hours to finish when collecting everything, which is by far the longest in the game versus the other worlds, which is surprising as some of the other ones took quite some time as well. But honestly, I'm not complaining, because that's what a final world is supposed to be in a game. It should be big and full of difficult levels, which is exactly what this was. It was filled with a lot of content and it was difficult, but I think the level that takes the cake for me is the World 6 special world level, Solar Roller, as the platforming in this level as a spike ball was really difficult to keep up with, as there's a time limit to the platforms being active and the bouncy platforms are very narrow, which are really easy to miss when trying to control the direction of the bounces. So in my opinion, this level has to be the hardest level in World 6 in my opinion, but with this level done, we have enough Wonder Seeds in the special world to unlock the final test Wonder Gauntlet, which we'll get to later, as I realized after dying a few times it'd be better to beat the rest of the levels before taking this on, as this will probably take more time than the rest of the game. But after defeating the castle level in World 6 and having a little bit more of a difficult fight with Bowser Jr. than normal, we unlock the final boss of the Petal Isles, which is the Bowser Castle, level, and I'm not gonna lie, other than Fluff Puff Peaks, this might be my favorite designed overworld in the entire game. From the Bowser Castle to the Gauntlet format to the actual levels, it overall is the best world in the entire game, even though it only has 5 levels to it. When playing through the Bowser Gauntlet, I got a lot of 3D World vibes, as the styles of these levels felt very similar, as it all really gave that feeling that this is the final world and you're about to beat the game. Every level in its own way was very unique, and all of them were very different to one another and didn't follow a strict pattern to them. For example, one of them was all about playing with electricity and timing your movement around the lightning, and another one had these really big fists and a platform you could move by jumping on it. Every level in this game, and world in particular, was just so creative in design, which made for an amazing final world. Like, even the final level in the world had a plaster of other levels in the past, like King Boo, the Flying Dragon, and even the Singing Piranha Plants. The final Bowser fight was just so unique, and in my opinion, the most unique Mario Bros boss fight ever, as it had all to do with the music being played in the game and jumping on time with the beats in order to defeat Bowser. I could go on and on about this game, but there's still more to do in this game other than defeating Bowser, because if you remember, we still have the special world level. So after we defeat Bowser and the Flower Kingdom goes back to being peaceful again, we now are ready for the final special world level, which is the final test, the Wonder Gauntlet, which was easy? Hold up. Isn't this supposed to be the final level of the game? Like, come on, Nintendo. Did you just waste all of the potential after all the praise I just gave you? Like, what the Oh, hold up. I missed a flower coin. Hold up 1 second, everyone. Let me get this real quick and I'll be right back, alright? 1 second. Alright, now that we got the flower coin, it seems like it has opened up a final level. And it seems to be a bad challenge, which has a reputation of being devilishly difficult. And exactly that it was, because in the entirety of the game, I had never seen a level that even came close to the difficulty of this one. Let me tell you this right now. So let's take a quick stroll through the level to see why it's really that difficult. Alright, let's go. The first patch that we get put up against is the parachute cap, which was just a follow the coin challenge, as it was relatively easy overall to get through. Unless you get hit on accident, then you're essentially doomed to fail. But next up is the floating high jump badge, which has you connected to the moving platform that is controlled with your jumps, and was already getting difficult, as at some points the platform goes under lava, and by some points I mean literally one time where you have to ground pound it so it comes back up. And the same can be said about the swimming portion, which again is short and sweet and is relatively easy. But now we get to the first checkpoint, which is where everything starts to go downhill. The crouching high jump badge is the next challenge to take the stage, which was just such a roadblock for me, as I failed over and over and over again. It just became ridiculous, as it had all to do with me not being able to time my jumps and my crouches correctly, and sometimes I would hold down at the wrong time, which makes my character just ground pound into the lava, which was just so frustrating. And over 19 hours into this game, I just became mentally out of it, because at this point I was like almost 5 hours into this recording session, which just sucked, and dying over and over again was just so frustrating. But I eventually pulled it together and was able to get through it 20 minutes later. Yeah, it took me that long to get past that one section. I suck. But now with that done, I just had to get through the rest of the badges without dying, which didn't go to plan, as I of course proceeded to die over and over again. But after taking a couple minutes break, I came back and did this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, after about an hour playing this level, I finally finished it, and I can say now that I have 100%ed... What? What is it? I'm about to do my outro. What do you mean I'm not finished? Oh my god. Well, everyone, it seems like I just realized that I haven't bought all the standees or the badges yet, and being me, I wasted all my money on the random standees a while back when you could literally just buy the specific standees from this poplin in the special world, which I was completely oblivious about for some reason. So I had to grind. I had to grind, and get all the money I could to finish this game once and for all. And that meant playing the same level over and over and over again. I can still hear the theme music for this level, and that's why I get PTSD every time I hear it. But I did eventually get all the standees and the badges after almost 3 hours of grinding, which was totally worth it. Painful maybe, but totally worth it nonetheless. And with that, and after 20 hours of gameplay, I have 100%ed Super Mario Bros. Wonder and got absolutely nothing for it other than a sound badge, which isn't even given to you at 100%. I guess the profile picture is kinda cool, but I really wish I got something else. And that, my friends, is the tale of why this video took me 20 hours to make, and probably another 20 in scripting and editing. But that's another tale for another day. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Click the Wonder Seat to check out another video, as I'm gonna take a rest now. Hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!